Hi, I'm Sarah White from ourdailycraft.com, and it has been a while since I have come to you with my face, but I just got back home from a local fiber arts yarn festival, the Northwest Arkansas Fiber Festival, and I wanted to talk a little bit about the state of the yarn industry, how we can support independent makers, and just to show you the goodies that I got. So first I'm wearing my sea glass tee. You probably recognize this from, everywhere on the internet and the millions of variations. They now have long sleeve versions and shawls and hats and all sorts of things with this pattern, which is just worked with two colors, and you alternate colors among stitches and can use all of your scraps for that. And it's a really great project for that, using up vast quantities of leftovers from other things, or you can make it more harmonious if you want to. But anyway, just had to shout out to the sea glass for a moment. But I do also want to acknowledge the privilege that I have of having access to a fiber festival where I live, that was able to bring in not only local producers from around Arkansas, Oklahoma, Missouri, but farther afield from Minnesota and Louisiana and Tennessee. Sort of this whole middle part of the country was represented, which was really lovely. Also acknowledging that it is really hard right now for people to be able to afford quality yarn from small producers, that it is expensive. It's expensive for them to produce, it's expensive for us to buy, and it can be really hard right now with, just everything. I don't need to go into, what's going on that could be making it hard to afford the luxuries. So for those of us who are able, and it's not that I have an unlimited budget either, but I did go a little wild. But it's so important for us to be mindful of where our yarn is coming from and who we're supporting with our money right now. So for me, it is important to support the independent spinners, dyers, the people who raise animals to make fiber, independent dyers, all of that stuff. So we've got a lot of goodies to share from a few different people. My big pink bag. First off, we have got some things from Whimsy Stitches Yarn Company, which is hand dyed in New Orleans. This is their twist fingering in the colorway Red Riding Hood, which I walked by a couple of times and was just like, yeah, I'm gonna need that. Definitely could be some socks, or the second color with something a little more like in this gray tone, maybe of a shawl, or I don't know what. That's the thing. I bought like single skeins of everything, and I don't know what any of them are for, but that's part of the fun of going to an event like this. I also bought from them the Pride Mini High Twist set, which is rainbow colors of their high twist fingering merino, which would be super cute for socks, or to use, do like the heels and toes of socks in rainbow colors. I don't know. Again, could be a shawl. That is 468 yards total in that one. And this is 399 yards. Honestly, those would look good together if you're going totally wild. This one is not weirdly, but is a 100% cotton yarn from Madlandia. It's their humongous 100% cotton yarn. The part that was weird, interesting to me, is the yarn is actually made in Bulgaria. Excuse me. And it is, I assume, dyed in Tennessee. The company's from Tennessee. They have these beautiful, bright rainbow hues. The yarn is super soft, giant skeins. This is 339 yards per skein, and they at their booth had these gorgeous like mandala rainbow colored projects that were just beautiful. I'm definitely going to have to check out their website and see if some of those patterns are available, because it was really cool. This one spoke to me from across the room, which you might be able to see why. This brilliant blue from Noti Hand Painted Yarns. It is a superwash merino sock yarn. Apparently I'm knitting socks all winter, which is totally fine with me. This one's 437 yards. It's really soft in addition to being really brilliant blue, which I love. I was going for bright, happy, fun stuff that I know that I don't already have. This one's probably the closest to something I already have, because this is totally my color, like this blue, green, turquoise, whatever you want to call it. I have a lot of stuff in this range, but this is Ozark Highlands wool, which is one of those I was talking about, that they have the sheep, they harvest the wool, they make the yarn, they dye it, they do all of it. This is a DK weight. It's 250 yards of cormo, which is lovely. It smells like a sheep. Like, it's rustic more than the other, you know, it's still soft. I'm not saying that it's like you wouldn't want to wear it, but it's a little more like wool, right? Love that. And then Yarn Adventure Truck was there. Shout out to Yarn Adventure Truck, love them. I bought a couple of things from them as well, which was this one. I was feeling rainbows today, I guess. This is Ba Yarns. We didn't start the rainbow colorway of their superwash merino fingering weight. Maybe combine that with the solids. I don't know. We'll see. Lots of rainbows, lots of love for that good stuff. The other one I picked up from them is a Laughing Cat Fibers Astro Cat Sparkle DK. You can see, I think you can see that there is a little bit of stellina in there. It's a superwash merino and nylon. So again, socks probably. This is an exclusive Yarn Adventure Truck yarn. That's very cool. I haven't bought a yarn with sparkles in a long time. I always, this is like a common thing that I get at yarn festivals, because you can't get sparkly yarn everywhere, and it's so fun, and it's just, I don't know, whimsy. We're going for whimsy with all of these. So that was my trip to the Northwest Arkansas Fiber Fest, and I have this, luckily they sent us away with a vendor map, so that there's a list of all of the vendors who were there, and I can look them up and hopefully buy more from them when I have recovered from this trip. But the other thing related to that is that I have a blog post on my website, which I will put in the show notes, about American-made yarn producers. And so I know that some of these people are, like Ozark Highlands Wool for one, are not on that list yet, and they should be. But that's because we all need to look locally, and you're not necessarily going to find these producers when you just search for American-made yarn on Google, whatever. The big companies are going to come up, and I have all of those in my post, but wherever you are regionally, you're probably going to be able to find little pockets of people who raise sheep for fiber, or at least are hand dyeing, which their yarn is not necessarily locally produced, but at least there's a little bit of an infusion into the local economy that way, because you're supporting a local dyer. So I think that it's really vital right now to just pay attention to those things and like do a little bit of research and see if you can find some local or even regional, but you know, yarn people who probably really could use the help right now if you have the means to help them. And you get some really great yarn in the deal, and you know, I'm gonna have so much fun with all of these. I cannot wait to figure out what they're for and use them in projects and share those with you too. So that's my little sermon today about supporting yarn producers where you can, when you can. And just buying the colorful, like that's part of the story too, is I can see my like yarn display, and it's, you know, there's some bright colors, but it's mostly dark. And I know that there's a whole shelf of like off-white and brown, and that stuff has its place, but we just need this, we need the smiles right now. We need the bright colors, we need the sparkles. And you know, if you can get yourself a little treat in the form of a great ball of yarn, do it. That's all I have to say right now. I'll be back soon, hopefully not as long a wait to see me again from the last time, but I hope that you have a great crafty week. And if you have local yarn producers where you are from who are doing an amazing job, I would love to hear about them, so drop them in the comments.